Skin conditions. There are quite a few different conditions that can cause our skin not to look its best. As a makeup artist, you should be aware of possible situations, so you know if you see one in front of you and be prepared to treat it effectively in that scenario. With experience, you will learn that there are scenarios when applying only a thin layer of makeup will work the best, while there are scenarios when you need to apply a lot of product to get the best possible result. All that depends on the skin you are working with and its features when doing the makeup routine. Experimenting is the easiest way to build up that experience, so do not feel discouraged if you don't see this the first time you do makeup. It is entirely normal and expected that you are not a master in doing makeup when you are just at the beginning of your journey. It happens to all of us, and the only important thing is that you do not get discouraged if that happens. Skin conditions can pose a lot of problems for people that are new in the makeup world. It can do so for professionals as well, but for beginners, it can be overwhelming to have to worry about additional problems. So, let us go one condition at a time and talk to you about each one and the proper ways to treat these conditions. Before we start things off with our talk about treating skin conditions, have in mind that we are going to cover proper treatment of all of these problems in a much more practical and in-depth manner as we progress through the course. Right now, we have not yet shared knowledge on specific products and techniques that you can incorporate in order to handle any of these issues. So stay tuned and do not worry about the products and techniques we are going to mention here. You will learn everything you might need by the end of this course. Rosacea is a common skin condition that causes redness and visible blood vessels in your face. It may also produce small red bumps and pimples. The best way to approach this problem when doing makeup is to apply moisturizer to diffuse the redness and play around with color correcting products. You can choose between color correcting primers, concealers, and foundations. You might want to pick up bronzers even. They would be a great tool to mask the spots and blood vessels. Combined skin is a problem we already talked about, so you should know that you should treat dry skinned parts with moisturizer and oily skin parts with some oil absorbing products to even out the skin before starting to apply makeup. Extremely dry skin is another common problem that you can fix with moisturizers, using a series of liquid or cream-based makeup products that will work together towards the common goal, which is to provide the skin with as much nourishment as possible. The problem will be dealt with in no time. Blemishes are a widespread scenario as well, and the one you will encounter for sure in your career. So you have to be ready to treat this scenario when you experience it. There are different types of blemishes, and they can all be treated pretty much with no problem. You can use a concealer brush, apply an oil-free foundation to the blemish while matching the skin tone as precisely as possible. Pat the area with a brush, lightly, without rubbing the product in the skin. Blend into a small area directly around the blemish. Continue with the process regularly after you have covered all the marks successfully. Primers are also a fantastic ally to have at your side in the fight against blemishes. They will provide a much more even skin to work with before you even start with the foundation and concealer application process. You can incorporate color correcting products here before applying any other product, right after applying moisturizer. Hyperpigmentation is a problem where the skin has a different color in certain areas. So fixing this is not a large problem as well. You will apply a foundation or concealer that is a shade lighter than the skin tone in the area affected by the hyperpigmentation with a brush. Bronzers can be blended into the cheek area, helping that way in blending the more pigmented skin. After that is done, apply a foundation that matches the person's skin tone over the previously prepared area with hyperpigmentation and achieve a flawless final result. Primers are fantastic in this case as well as color correcting products. You will want to apply them before you have started the foundation and concealer's application process as you would usually. Birthmarks and port wine stains can be covered with several layers of concealer that are supposed to be used when covering very dark areas. Concealers should be 3 to 5 shades lighter than skin tone. That is because you'll want to apply quite a few layers of it, and that will be visible through the foundation that will be put on top of it. But if you have a lighter shade of concealer under the foundation, you will not be able to tell that there are layers of concealer under the foundation. Of course, the foundation will be picked to match the skin tone as accurately as possible. Primers and color correcting products are an excellent idea to go with here as well. Scars and tattoos might be a challenging task because of the high pigmentation in their color. You might try using a foundation in the stick to try masking the problematic area. If that does not work, use a heavy concealer designed for tattoos and scars. After that, apply a foundation that matches the skin tone and set it all with powder. Options are plentiful here, and that is precisely why we have added a designated lesson just for the tattoo covering process. So check that lesson out if you want to learn quite a bit more about this topic. Uneven skin can be encountered as a darker shade of the skin, usually in the forehead or the area under the lower lip. You can incorporate 2 different tones of foundation so that they match each of the skin tones. Blend well to create an even transition between the skin tones and you will be good to go. Bronzer can be used over foundation to even out skin tone. A gel bronzer applied to moisturized skin before foundation evens the skin as well. Foundation can be applied where needed. Freckles are a funny thing. You do not want to cover them in all situations. There are cases when you want them to be visible through the makeup. You can always hide them using a heavy concealer or foundation, which is no problem due to their not so heavy pigmentation. But you can use a tinted moisturizer that will even out the skin tone and make freckles look very lovely and exciting. Or you can use a translucent powder to make a face look shimmery and make it glow, all the while leaving the freckles visible. Acne is a problem that is supposed to be treated with care. Before anything else, you should use an oil-free moisturizer so you prepare the skin. After that, you can use the same procedure described in Blemishes point to cover the face. So you can use a blemish covering stick. Using some small concealer brush, apply the concealer. Use opaque foundation only in critical areas. You can use tinted moisturizers or lightweight liquid foundation to even out the skin tone. Our goal here is to blend away the discoloration without applying too many products to the skin so it can breathe and not feel heavy. Color correcting products will make the entire process of covering acne much more comfortable. But consider if you want to add this product onto the skin, so you do not put on too many products. Wrinkles may appear due to dehydration or due to aging of the skin. Either way, hydration is the key. Use moisturizers regularly, and the skin will undoubtedly restore some of its elasticity. But you do not want to fix this issue in a few days. You want to fix it now. We will provide a solution for that as well here. Do not worry. You will want to be using products that will not get stuck in the wrinkles, because that is the most common issue we see occurs when people want to hide wrinkles with makeup. So you will want to use a primer as a base for sure. It would provide a much more even canvas to apply other products later on. And after that, just apply products that do not tend to get cakey in your experience. These are only a few of the most common situations you will encounter in the career as a makeup artist. So we wanted to give you only a small insight into how to treat skin with conditions we just talked about. You will gain your perspective and see how to treat them. We did not intend to make this lesson long because we could talk for ages about this topic. After all, every scenario has its potential approaches for solving the problem. Our goal here was to provide some basic understanding of the problem and basic guidelines you can follow to fix the problem without putting too much effort into it. These were quite a few skin problems that we have addressed here. We will be covering a few more throughout the course. Still, you should remember concepts because we are aware that you are not familiar enough with makeup products to understand the process entirely.